morning, folks. How are we all today? Hope you're fine. Friday, last one of the week, always puts a smile on my face. But before we get into it this morning, and I say hello to a few people, I want to share a couple of photographs with you and tell you a wee story. So we'll put the photographs up. I'll scroll through them. This is your money at work, folks. This is your money at work. And this is St. Augustus Food Bank and Soup Kitchen. And the lady that runs it, Gillian Kennedy, sent me these photographs. That's a food kitchen the day to feed 70 people on a Thursday. And obviously that was a special dinner they put on at Christmas. All done with your money. And wee mammy, I call her, she messaged me last night and sent me the pictures and asked her if it was all right to show you the pictures and tell you a wee bit about the work that Gillian does. And our wee mammy, as I call her. Now, she works in St. Augustus Food Kitchen Food Bank, who we've been donating to. And the soup kitchen / food bank is run, believe it or not, by Gillian and people who are doing their community service. And Lauren, who is the provost Dumbarton, she also goes in and helps out, washes the dishes and things like that. And I'm going to take a wee run down there at some point, probably on a Thursday or a Sunday, which is when they put on their soup kitchen. And they probably do a wee video for you. I've been invited many times to various places that you've donated money to. But as you know, we try not to do that sort of thing. We try not to portray the people we're trying to help. We don't do poverty porn, as I call it. We don't. But Gillian asked me to show you a picture, tell you a wee bit about the organisation, and thank you for the help and assistance that you have given to Dumbarton and the hungry people of Dumbarton over the last few years. So I just thought I'd put out to let you see your money at work, folks. This is what this community achieves. We keep people from going hungry. And it's a great thing. It really is. Now let's see who's in. Good morning, Rosemary. Good morning, Jim. Good morning, Alistair. Morning, Harry. Morning, Scott. Mel. Doug. Lorraine. Kirsty. Reagan Elite. John Baxter. John O'Rourke. Kit Hood. Wee Bird. Good morning, Sir Larry. I think I've seen Desiree in there as well. Good morning, Christina. Morning, Ali Watson. Akies. I was getting worried about you having seen your name for a couple of days. I was about to phone you. Morning, Rosalind. Morning, Tina, up there in Dundee. Morning, Margaret Mackay. Morning, Neil McLean. Morning, Robert Wilson. Oh, Jesus, we'll bet this all day. We better go on with it. Because young Reagan Elite's got his programme to put out right after me. And there's a lot of these in. We've just hit 115. So let's get this underway. Okay. Indy Truck Davy out the truck, not home in his office in the 27th of the 2nd, 2026, where it is 7 degrees. Very pleasant morning. Sun's out. There is showers in the forecast for later on this evening. Humidity is at 90%. Wind speed, light breeze, 7 to 18 miles an hour. And the sunset today will be 17:44, giving the people here where I am 10 hours and 32 minutes of daylight. Plenty of time to get started in the garden and things like that as we head into spring. And the pollen count doesn't count, we're still in the winter. All right, so that's how the weather is here in Salisbury, North Lanarkshire. If you want to know how the weather is where you are, look at your own bloody window. Right, first up this morning, the Herald. Let's get it up. And the Herald has fewer teachers in Scotland despite 620 million investment. Now, folks, when we talk about this investment here, you've heard David and I talk about this subject before. The government has allocated a fund for councils who can have it to retain teacher numbers. But certain councils out there have refused that money and cut teacher numbers anyway. So they're right, there is a £620 million investment. Half the funds are still sitting ring-fenced because the councils are not taking it to maintain numbers. They're adamant they're cutting. They're actually deliberately damaging the education of your children. And that's what happens when you've got a unionist fucking council. They refuse the money that's there to ensure that your children and grandchildren get a better education. And they lay off teachers anyway, which is an outrage. Right, done with that. And next up, we'll get the Times. We'll get the Times up. What's the Times telling us this morning? Well, it says, work 5 years in NHS or repay tuition. Sarwar warns doctors. Well, let's face it, Sarwar's not in a position to warn any fucker. He's not in power, and he's never going to get anywhere near power here in Scotland. And the main headline, mystery as Mandelson messages go missing. Haven't they went missing at all? Starmer told you about it yesterday. Security and liaison will decide what can be released and what can't. As it covers his time as the American ambassador. The rest of the files will be released. So they haven't went missing. They're just not been released. Done with that. After that, we'll get the Scotsman, or the anti-Scotsman as I like to call it. And if you're wondering about the t-shirt of the day, folks, I put it on to celebrate the Gorton and Denton by-election win. And I put it on to point out why the Labour Party lost. Because the leader is a wankier. And thanks to the indie grannies, Karen and Lynn, for sending me the t-shirt. Love a pair of yous guys. Anyway, NHS free at the point of use, now at risk, Scots doctors warn. Scots doctors can go and talk pish amongst themselves. The only risk to our NHS is remaining in this fucking union. Because they will privatise it all and sell it off to American health insurance companies. They will. So if you want to maintain the NHS free at the point of use, get on board with the yes side of the debate. Because if we stay in this union, the NHS will be gone. End of story. Right, next up, after the Scotsman, we've got the Rancid. And I don't put it up, that's on a crime story. And what's the Rancid got? Rape survivors warning. A serious danger to the public. Vicky's fury as restrictions on Beast are lifted. Now, as I looked at this one and I was reading it, I was just thinking to myself, something doesn't sit right here. As part of their justice system, rehabilitation is part of it. Now, either the system's convinced this fella's been rehabilitated, or he's convinced him he's been rehabilitated. But restrictions have been lifted. Time will tell whether he's been rehabilitated or not. But when you're reading stories like this, remember, folks, part of the justice system's functions is to rehabilitate people if they can. Now, I don't know the case details. I don't know the people involved. So I don't know whether the restrictions should have been lifted or no. But it would appear that the state believes that the restrictions should be lifted. Only time will tell if the state is correct. Only time will tell. These front page stories like this, they're just fucking clickbait. Some call them human interest stories. I call them horror stories. Next up, we've got The Scum. And it's on a crime story as well. And it's got Soham monster fights for life. Killer bludgeoned Huntley and bragged. So Huntley's a murderer. The guy that attacked him was a murderer. And it would appear that Huntley is just hanging on by a thread. There you go. Right. Next up, we get The Fail, and it's on the same story. We'll put it up. Soham killer close to death after being battered with metal pole. Jail workshop ambush by triple murderer leaves Ian Huntley in a bad way, apparently. Huntley's the picture at the top, and this is the guy who's already committed 3 murders at the bottom. Pair of charmers, he murders 2 wee lasses, and I don't know who he's murdered, but apparently he wanted to add Huntley to the list. Right, after that, we've got the Looney Rag Express. It's on the same story. Well, it's no, actually. This is on immigration. Beg your pardon. And what it says is here, senior Tories attack Labour for only removing 6% of Channel boat arrivals. No backbone to solve illegal migrants crisis, says Tories who created the fucking crisis. If David Cameron had a backbone and stood up to the European Reform Group within his party, Brexit would never have fucking happened. Who are the Tories to criticise people dealing with a situation that they fucking created with Brexit? But what's more important is, what this headline tells you about the Express is, it knows the people who buy their paper are knuckle-dragging half-wits that would believe such shite. The people who create the problem criticise somebody else for not being able to cure the problem that they fucking created. Only Daily Express readers would believe that nonsense. Only knuckle-dragging fucking half-wits. Here in Scotland, we call them unionists. Would believe that nonsense. Fuck. Tories criticise Labour for not dealing with a problem they created. Talk about a brass fucking neck. I didn't expect to be ranting today. But hey ho. Next up we have The Guardian, apparently. Let me check, make sure I get this right. Yep, The Guardian. What's The Guardian got for us today? Drop in migrant workers will be a car crash for NHS and care homes, says The Guardian. Which is behaving like the Daily Express today. And it's treating its fucking readers like fucking idiots. We, the sensible people, already know this. The fuckwits in government don't care. Our economy can't handle a drop in immigration. Can't handle it. Systems will collapse. People will die. Terrible deaths, actually, especially in the case of folks in care homes who can't get the care they need. And in England, especially, where the care is beyond the kind of most people to buy. Fuck. Always amazes me the way the press likes to treat the public as fucking idiots. Hit the like button, folks, will you? Like up there 100, it helps the algorithm, and the algorithm helps generate advertising revenue to go to the food banks. Thank you. I keep forgetting to say that. Hit the like button. Right, after the Guardian, we've got the Tory graph. And where's it gone today? I was in a fucking good mood today, Tate. Spanish police to patrol Gibraltar. And apparently that's a Brexit promise broken to the people of Gibraltar. Well, the people of Gibraltar, unlike the Scots, got to pick their Brexit. They got to pick their Brexit. And now that there's no border between Spain and Gibraltar, it makes sense that cross-border policing goes on. But of course, it's allegedly a Brexit betrayal. Mental. And I say, the press treat the people like fucking idiots. What's the national one? Well, this week it's running an energy series, isn't it? So it's back on the theft of oil. How Scottish oil wealth was hidden from us. Inside. Important document published. Macron report again, probably. Anyway. It's not a bad looking front page, to be fair. And the robber's mask, that says it all. Can't even blame the people down south. It was a dishonest government. Well, actually, you can blame the people down south. And ourselves when it comes to one of these headlines. Next up we have the I. What's the I vote for as a day? Assisted dying legislation faces collapse with peers accused of sabotage. The peers didn't sabotage it at all. The Westminster government, the Labour government, don't want to allocate any more debate time to this because there's been hundreds of amendments suggested by the Lords. So it's being shelved. It might reappear in 5 or 10 years, but for now, it's off the books. Off the books. But it's England only legislation, so it doesn't really affect us here. Sorry, England and Wales legislation only. Now, next up we get Metro. And this is what I'm talking about, where we have to take responsibility. One million kids stuck on scrap heap. Lost generation fear for the 24-year-olds. Or the 16 to 34-year-olds, I think that is. But the truth of it is, the reason why there's a million kids in the scrap heap is our bad political choices. Our bad political choices. We elect the legislators who have fucked everything up and left a million kids in the scrap heap. But here's something. That's not the first time I've seen that headline. First time I've seen that headline was 1982. 1982. Thatcher was in power. The YT, the York scheme was about to be invented to get the million kids off the brew and working for the brew money. But folks, if there's a million kids stuck on a scrap heap, that's because of the poor political choices we've made. Sometimes, as a 16 to 24, thank you very much. Sometimes we all like to deflect. But the truth is, if there's a million kids with no future, it's because we haven't built one for them. We have failed in our endeavours. And if we look around these islands today, especially when we look in England and Wales, I can't speak much towards Northern Ireland. It's a fucking cesspit I don't want to play in. But, as I say, if there's a million kids in the scrap heap, it's because we've failed to create a future for them. But as I say, it's not the first time I've heard that. It's not the first time I've seen that. First time I seen that headline was 1982. But that's a harsh reality. If there's a million kids in the scrap heap, it's because we made bad choices and didn't build a future for them. That's the harsh fucking reality of it. The reason why we have the independence movement and the push to break away from that corrupt cesspit down that road they call a parliament is because it's stopping us from building a future for the children. Because when you get right down to it, what we've seen over my lifetime hasn't been our political choices. It's been the political choices of the guy next fucking door. Not our political choices, but we do have to take our responsibility if there's a million kids on the scrap heap. We had one fucking job. Make the right choices and build them a future. I'm afraid we fucking failed. Keir Starmer's a fucking fine example of why we keep fucking failing. Because the Muppets next door keep electing fucking public schoolboy wankers who believe they're born to lead. Yet they have no fucking leadership skills. None. There's a reason why Labour lost the Gorton and Denton by-election. And it's because their leader isn't a leader. He's a wanker. There you go. Right. No funny to tell myself off. Let's see what the stars got for us today. What's the star got for us today? Oh, well, new iPad on Monday, folks. I better watch copyright. Sorry, new notebook on Monday. AYE pad. Child killer is battered unconscious with pole. Saw a monster Huntley clinging to life. Air ambulance to hospital after prison attack. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. So we get two mass murder. We've got two multi-murderers. One has to go to the other one. I don't know what the other guys, who it was to get the three people the other guy murdered was. But I do know this guy. And who he murdered. Holly Wells and what was the other lass's name again? Oh, come with me. No doubt after the programme's finished. Anyway, that's it for this week, folks. Monday, I'll set about getting the money out to Argyll and Bute, because that's the council area we're dropping into this month. And as I select the food banks, stroke food kitchens, I'll make you aware of it at the time as it goes out. Okay, but it was nice to wee mammy to send us some pictures to show you what your money's doing. It does go out into the community and it does help. St Augusta's Food Kitchen feeds 70 people on a Thursday and a Sunday. And it has multiple purposes, the soup kitchen. It stokes loneliness, stokes people from going hungry, it rehabilitates offenders. And apparently it's that great that the provost goes along and helps out. So that's your money in action, folks. You guys have a nice weekend. I'll be back Monday morning to go through the newspaper headlines again. And David and I will be back on Monday afternoon, where we'll probably talk more about the implications of the Gorton and Denton by-election. Should be interesting. Oh, Sir Larry's got a new video hunting Sunday, watching the detectives, folks. Series has been very good, Sir Larry. I'll be watching. Mind Reagan Elite's up next. And I watched the round table last night. How very diplomatic of you, young man. I'd love to do the round table with Van Man. To apologise to him, actually. I'm known for ranting, and the stupid question set me off in one. Why don't the left talk about immigration, for fuck's sake? Okay, right, guys, have a nice weekend. See you Monday morning. Don't be late.